Welcome to One Tired Teacher, episode 210, Navigating the Homestretch. 3 tips for ending the school year on a high note. I'm excited to talk today about getting through the end of the year and getting through not just surviving, but thriving through the end of the year. So this episode is based on a blog post that I also wrote with the same exact title, Navigating the Homestretch, 3 tips for ending the school year on a high note. And you can check that out on my website. If it's easier for you to just read it and see some pictures, you can grab it on my website. And if you are busy and you're multitasking and it's easier for you to hear it, then this episode is for you. Hope you stick around.
Welcome to One Tired Teacher. And even though she may need a nap, this teacher is ready to wake up and speak her truth about the trials and treasures of teaching. Here she is, wide awake. Wait, she's not asleep right now, is she? She is awake, right? Okay. From Trina Debery Teaching and Learning, your host, Trina Debery.
Hey, so I'm excited to talk about ending the school year because I have some ideas that actually might help you feel like you are going to make it through until the end. But before we get started, I want to share that this episode is being sponsored by one of my favorite things, and that is my end of the year camping theme camp day activities with camp theme STEM bundle. That's a mouthful, isn't it? It's a bundle of 3 different resources. So do you dread the end of the school year, the hustle and the bustle? There's just so much to do and so little time. Not anymore, my friend. End of the year activities have never been more engaging, time producing for teachers, and just plain awesome than with this end of the year camp themed week-long unit bundle with camp STEM included. Keep teaching until the end while giving yourself time to get everything done at school. This bundle includes both the digital and the print camp unit, which includes 5 days of activities in all subjects: reading, writing, math, science, social studies. So fun. And it also includes my camp STEM challenges all in one resource. Be sure to check that out. You can find it on TPT. I will link to it in the show notes. It is so much fun, and like I said, it includes both digital and print. So if you are at the end of your rope with copies, then you have the digital version. And if you don't need to worry about that, then just print away. And I'm telling you, you're going to have so much fun with your kids. There's hands-on activities. There's like independent activities. There's a reader's theater. It's all camp themed, so it's super fun and engaging and keeps kids really busy, and it gives you a chance to sneak over to your teacher table and get all of your end of the year things done. So much fun. So that is the resource that is sponsoring this episode. So if you are excited about that, then I hope that you will check that out. I think it will give you lots of great things for the end of the year. So now let's get on with the show. So, the navigating the homestretch into the last day of school, because let me tell you, sometimes it can be a little bit rough. And as we enter the final weeks of school, our thoughts are likely shifting from academic tasks to the anticipation of the last days of school and of summer break. Oh my goodness. But don't give up just yet. There is still a fun way to make the most of the school year. And you can even end on a high note. It's hard to believe, I know. And in this episode, we will discuss 3 tips for navigating the homestretch: creating a memory book, planning special end of the year activities, and making the last week of school the perfect time and memorable for you and the entire class. I know it's really hard to believe, but I remember when I first created my camp unit, and I was like, how am I going to do this? Like I have so much to do at the end of the year, but I used to have like, it was kind of unstructured. I would just try to give them things to keep them busy, but also I wanted them doing things. I remember making the mistake of like not trying to follow my same schedule. And that became like just a chaotic end of the year. So I got smarter as time went on and I stuck to more of a schedule, but it was also, adding in some fun. And then when I wrote this camp unit with a friend of mine, we did it together. She did it for the intermediate grades and I did it for primary grades. And I put it in place in my classroom. I've tweaked it a lot since that original writing. Like I've added some things to it and changed it a bit. But anyway, it is so much fun. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm having the best time with my kids because there's lots of activities that I can get involved if I want to. And like when they make bubbles, like they do like a bubble day, but we create the solution. And so it's some science elements of creating the solution and things. And then we put it on their desks and they try to make the biggest bubbles and who can make the longest chain of bubbles and this whole thing. And it is so fun. And the room smells so clean and the desks get so clean. So that is a really fun activity that I actually like to participate in as well. But then there's so many other things that I can just kind of get them started and then I'm off to the side doing all the things that need to be done. So it's just, so great. Anyway, so let's talk about 3 tips for ending the school year in a great way. So the first activity that I really enjoy, and this actually is in all of my end of the year theme units, it's a memory book. So first things first, create a memory book. Now, I also want to tell you that I'm giving away this memory book. I'm giving it away as a freebie. So if you click on the link in the show notes, you can grab this free memory book and you can have it for your end of the year. And it's a great idea for students looking to cherish their memories from the past school year. Creating something tangible that they can look back on in years down the line will be priceless. Just think of all those embarrassing moments that are bound to happen throughout life. What better way to laugh at them than flipping through something like a memory book? Memory books also take up a great deal of time for students, which means that you have time to get things done at school. I always love opportunities for teachers to work at work and not have to work at home and not have to feel guilty. And I swear, what is it with that? Like I can remember so many times being worried that my principal is going to come in and see me sitting at my desk checking email from parents. It's not like I was over there, shopping. I was on my computer working and you feel guilty for working at work, which is so crazy. And speaking of that, I have a funny story, which is really off topic, but I have to tell you. So I have stayed friends with my original administrator who I worked for nearly 20 years. It was like 19 and a half years. And then I've said this before, if you listen to the podcast and if you're a friend of the show, you know this story. So he went on to be the district, head of all principals, basically. So I was devastated and it was terrible. And like everything took a turn for the worse after he left. I feel like he really protected us. I think a good administrator can often save us from a really rough system. I believe the administrator has that much power. I know that's so crazy, isn't it? And I know they have their hands tied sometimes as well. I won't get off on that tangent. Anyway, I do have a lot to talk about when it comes to that. And I will be doing an episode on that in the near future because I get very, very frustrated by that. Anyway, my original administrator was great and I worked for him for most of my career. So thankfully I have fond memories of teaching and fond memories of him. So we have remained friends and we talk periodically. He's like one of the best people in my whole life to keep in touch. So I will say that. So I'm giving him a shout out, but he retired recently and he went to work. Like he's been working forever. He needed to retire, but he's pretty young. So he continued to work, and he works on in construction. Basically, he's the person that makes sure all the little things get done and taken care of. And so when he was first going to the job, he calls and he's like, I don't really know what I'm supposed to be doing. And, I'm not sure. And he works for a friend of his. And he's like, I don't know if my buddy's going to come out and watch me. Like, is he just going to stand there while I'm working? And I said, oh, would that bother you? Would it actually bother you to have a grown adult standing over you while you worked? I'm like evaluating you, looking at what you're doing right or wrong in your job. And he was like, oh, yeah. And I'm like, yeah, you think? I go, that's how we feel. I go, that's how we have felt as teachers for so long. Let me just give you a piece of that. It was like it had never dawned on him how ridiculous that is. And even when I was saying it so sarcastically, it actually took him a few minutes to process that I was making a joke. And then he was like, oh my gosh. And like sometimes he'll call to show, because he works on these mansions. And so he'll call to show me the house and what it looks like and stuff. And then he's like, oh, I think somebody's in the driveway. I got to go. So he hangs up, and I'm like, oh, this is like such flashbacks of when he would come in my classroom and I would be working and I would still feel like I had to jump up and circulate. So annoying. Anyway, okay. I hope you know what I'm talking about and you don't think I'm crazy, but that's something that just came to my mind. And that's how I feel at the end of the year. Like, you always feel like you're supposed to be circulating and walking around and proximity and all those things with kids, when in reality, when they're engaged and doing something meaningful, you can sneak over and get work done at work. All right. So the memory book really helps with that. So memory books have always been one of my students' favorite activities, and you can find my memory books and in all of my end of the year theme week units, but I'm also giving you one for free. So there should be a button in the show notes that says grab a free memory book here. And if you can't find it for some reason, then, make sure you go to my website, TrinaDeveryTeachingAndLearning.com. And if you go to the podcast, One Tired Teacher, and you are listening to this current episode, which is episode 210, then you can grab it in those show notes. It's also in the blog posts with the same title. And so you should be able to find it. And if you can't find it, then message me on Instagram and tell me. You don't even have to say anything. You just say memory book and I will send you the link. All right. So all you need to do with the freebie that I am giving is add this fun activity to your last days of school by printing the copies for everyone. It's really a great way to get the kids to like walk around, move, sign each other's memory books. It's kind of like having a yearbook. And all you do is you cut them in advance with like one of those large cutters, and then you grab a teacher helper to put the pages in order and staple them at the top. Kids fill in the first few pages with some of their favorite memories or summer bucket list items, and then the fun really begins. And that's when kids get to walk around the classroom, much like a scavenger hunt, and find other friends to sign their memory books. I also have made lesson plans easier by attaching a plan for you to copy and paste. So hopefully you enjoy that. The next tip for navigating the home stretch is to plan fun activities for the end of the year. And this is to really plan some things. I like to have a variety of different things to do to keep kids extra busy. So I can work at work, and also I can keep kids super engaged with a fun idea. My favorite activities include theme weeks. I think they are so fun. And here are some of my favorite ways to run a theme week. And the best part is, and you don't have to like buy my theme weeks on TPT, but they are available and they're at a reasonable price and they're totally worth it. Everyone says that. And I've got hundreds of comments, hundreds of teachers have used them, and all different ones. I have all different kinds of units as well. I have a camp one. I have a beach or ocean theme. I have a sports theme, a superhero theme, a Western theme. I think that covers it. So there's different ones to choose from. And the best part is kids love theme weeks and they have a great time. And let's be real, getting kids excited at the end of the school year is hard work. Most kids have checked out in April. And so we are so thankful when they're still with us in May or in June. An easy way to draw them back in and incentivize them is to practice skills until the end, and it's to include a theme week. Here are some key benefits included in the theme weeks that I'm talking about that you can find in my store, or you can create your own theme weeks, and you can, gather materials and create, like, pick a topic, pick something, think about how you could, do it with easy to find materials, and you will be all set. So some key features to keep in mind are you want daily activities in each subject area: reading, writing, math, social studies, and science. You want all activities to be academic and fun. You want them to be fun because you do want kids still like reviewing skills. I believe it's best to review skills so they're solidly ready for the next grade level rather than working on the next grade level. I think that's so annoying. I'm like, it's second grade. I want them to finish second grade strong. I'm not teaching them third grade. My district was like, everybody, let's start working on the next grade level, which I thought was so ridiculous. I'm like, no, they're not. Like, let them get solidly good at second. They can do third grade next year. It used to make me so mad. Anyway, another feature is that all of these worksheets, and you want to call them worksheets. Some people think worksheets are like the devil. But I'm telling you, these are like graphic organizers more like, and they're fun, and there's rubrics included. And, sometimes we need them to have paper pencil activities. I'm just going to say it. So if you don't want to call it worksheets, don't call it that. Call them think sheets. Call them whatever you want to help you feel better about it. But there's also hands-on activities included, so you don't have to worry about feeling like you're only teaching to one type of student. And because they are fun and because it's a theme, it just makes it a little bit different for some reason. Activities. Each activity has teacher directions. You always want to have directions for yourself or lesson plans. Each one of my themes, my weeks, activities do have lesson plans, so you can just copy and paste into your plan book and you're good to go. You want things that require few materials. You need, any simple materials or that are needed or inexpensive and available at local grocery stores and pharmacies and things like that. Parent letters and schedule templates are included in my theme weeks. Your time is saved. The unit will save you hours of planning and maximize your end of the year academic fun. You can also include a field day in any of these units if you need some outside time. The Reader's Theater is included at the start of each theme week, and it's kind of like holding a fun talent show, and it works really well in small groups or in your whole class. So creating memories as the end of the year school approaches is the third tip that I really want to focus on for navigating the home stretch. And one of my favorite parts of theme weeks is the structure of the day. There is a lot of focus on practicing essential skills that the students have learned this past year. There's also creative ways for kids to show what they know and enjoy themselves during the last weeks of school. One creative idea for the camp-themed end of the year unit is to create a campfire in the center of a circle of desks. Another creative way of sitting is sitting in tents and reading in tents. You can always add silent reading to these units too, so that you have like a little period of time of silent reading. You can even add like a game day. You can have kids create games, camp create, centered games. That would be really fun. Elementary students love the last camp out of the year. Now, like I said before, I have 5 different theme weeks to choose from, and they do all come with each covering subject areas, all 5 subject areas and themes included for first and second grade. It's mainly for first and second grade. I definitely would use it in third grade as well. But I think if you want anything harder as far as the math part, the math is really reviewing solidly addition and subtraction and even, regrouping. But I think if you wanted multiplication, then you might want to check out, my friend's units. Some of the activities included in the camp unit is end of the year memory book, camp reader's theater, bubble science and math, camp adding and subtracting, dear teacher letter to the next year with an all about me section, camp reader with activities, camp mapping, reflection and goal setting, awesome math games, my year of favorites, funky camp tales, writing, and much more. I think funky camp tales are so fun because it's kind of like Mad Libs. Oh, so fun. I love that. Here are some of the activities included in the beach unit. Welcome to Surf City Reader's Theater, a year of favorites, traveling to find the perfect wave Reader's Theater, a saltwater science, design a t-shirt, funky tales, boat school, what makes a boat float. That's a fun science activity. Surf club, mapping. It's a mapping activity. Letter to my next year's teacher, seashore symmetry sort, ocean in a bottle science, math and science bubble day, ice cream science lab. Super fun. You can see where there's some crossover. So I do have a bundle of all these units in case you wanted to do multiple weeks. There's so many activities. It really is hard to do it all in one week, to tell you the truth. You might need a little bit of extra time, but if you wanted to do it for several weeks, the bundle is a great idea, but some of the activities would cross over, so you wouldn't have exactly every single subject if you did the crossover. But I will tell you a little more about what's in each one if you're interested, and that way you could decide, do I want the bundle or do I want to just, focus on one of them? In the superhero unit, I have there's a Welcome to Superhero School Readers Theater. All the Readers Theaters, they're similar similar structure, but they are different themes. So that would be different. A Dear Future Student, that's in all of the packets. So that would be a crossover. I have superhero problem solving. That's different. Super air design, a superhero t-shirt. That would be different. Funky Tales are different again. Superhero word problems, superhero save the ship. It's a floating and sinking activity. Metropolis mapping, quicksand science, read and make a map, superhero symmetry sort, ice cream science lab, and I'm a superhero. Then I also have a Western theme, and it has a variety of activities and sports theme as well. All right. So these weeks of easy to follow academic and fun lesson plans will send your students off with a smile. And isn't that the key to it all? Doesn't that just warm our teacher hearts? And think about all those activities. Like, there's going to be so much work that you're going to be able to get finished at work. Okay, I hope that these 3 tips for ending the school year on a high note have helped you, given you some ideas for your own units, or if you want to make it easier for yourself and save some time, then you can head on over to TBT and grab these units or one of these units for yourself. And if you want to add a little bit of STEM, I do have three of the units are done so far. Actually, by the time this comes out, I should have a 4th one finished. So I have a camp theme. That's 10 different camp theme STEM challenges. I have ocean or beach theme, 10 different beach theme challenges, and a superhero, 10 different superhero challenges. So fun. And then I'm working on a sports one, and that should be finished by the time this airs. Hopefully it will be. All right. I hope that helps. And until next time, sweet dreams and sleep tight.